You're 25, staring at shattered glass on your kitchen floor, heart pounding, realizing the man you married, your high school sweetheart, just threw a plate at the wall because dinner wasn't perfect. That was me, trapped in a nightmare I called marriage. But fast forward 5 years, and I'm standing tall, free, successful, while he's the one crumbling, begging for a second chance he'll never get. If you've ever felt caged by someone who claimed to love you, stick around. This is the story of how I broke free and got the ultimate payback. Hey everyone, I'm Emily, 30 years old now, living in Atlanta, Georgia, and working as a counselor for women escaping abusive relationships. This is my real-life story, straight from the heart, no filters, no sugarcoating. If you've ever dreamed of turning pain into power and serving cold, hard justice to someone who underestimated you, hit that like button right now, subscribe for more raw, inspiring tales, and let's dive in. Trust me, by the end, you'll be cheering. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. I was just 21 when I said, I do, to Jason. God, I was so young, so naive. Growing up in this tiny town in Alabama, everyone around me was tying the knot right out of high school. My mom had me at 19, my aunts all married by 20. It was like a script we were all supposed to follow. Settle down, pop out kids, be the perfect Southern wife. And Jason? He was the star quarterback, charming as hell, with that easy smile that made my stomach flip. We'd been dating since sophomore year, sneaking kisses behind the bleachers, dreaming about our future. When he got down on one knee at our graduation party, ring in hand, a simple gold band he'd saved up for from his job at the auto shop, I felt like the luckiest girl alive. Yes, I whispered, tears in my eyes, as everyone clapped and whooped. Little did I know that yes was the start of my unraveling. Our wedding was straight out of a country song. White dress from the thrift store, ceremony in the church where I'd been baptized, reception in the community hall with pulled pork and sweet tea. We honeymooned at a cheap motel by the lake, giggling like kids. Then we moved into this cute little rental house on Elm Street, white picket fence, creaky porch swing, the works. I threw myself into making it a home. I'd wake up early, brew coffee, pack Jason's lunch with a little note inside. Afternoons, I'd bake casseroles from my grandma's recipes, creamy chicken and rice, green bean amandine, filling the house with those warm, comforting smells. I'd rearrange the hand-me-down furniture from my parents, a faded floral couch, a wooden coffee table scarred from years of family game nights. I even planted petunias in the window boxes, their pink petals bright against the peeling paint. It felt like a fairy tale. But fairy tales don't last, do they? The cracks started small, like hairline fractures in a mirror you don't notice until they spiderweb out. Jason would come home from his job at the factory, tired and grumpy, and nitpick. Why'd you wear that dress to the grocery store? It's too short, shows too much leg. I'd laugh it off at first, tugging at the hem, thinking he was just being protective, like a jealous boyfriend in a rom-com. Ah, babe, you know it's just for you, I'd say, kissing his cheek. But then it escalated. Do you really need to go out with Sarah and the girls tonight? Y'all just gossip anyway. Sarah was my best friend since kindergarten. We'd share secrets over ice cream, vent about life. But Jason didn't like it. They put ideas in your head, he'd grumble, his jaw tightening, eyes narrowing like storm clouds rolling in. I'd cancel plans, stay home, curl up on the couch with him watching football, telling myself it was compromise. Love means sacrifice, right? That's what my mom always said. But it wasn't love, it was control, creeping in like kudzu vine choking a tree. By 23, he was on me about my job at the local diner. I loved it, chatting with regulars, the smell of fresh pie baking, the jingle of tips in my apron pocket. It gave me a sense of independence, a little money that was mine. But Jason, you don't need to work. I make enough. Besides, all those guys coming in, flirting with you, I don't like it. His voice would drop low, possessive, his hand gripping my arm a tad too tight, leaving faint bruises I hid under long sleeves. I argued at first, "Jason, it's harmless. I need this." But he'd sulk for days, silent treatment like a weapon. Eventually, I quit, handed in my notice with tears stinging my eyes, the manager hugging me goodbye. "You're too good for this place anyway, honey," she said. But I wasn't. I was shrinking, folding in on myself. Home became my world, four walls closing in. I'd clean obsessively, scrubbing counters until my hands cracked, ironing his shirts with military precision, cooking meals timed to his arrival. But nothing was ever enough. "This steak's overdone," he'd snap, pushing the plate away, fork clattering. My heart would race, stomach twisting into knots, as I'd apologize profusely. "Sorry, I'll do better next time." Inside, my thoughts screamed, "Why am I apologizing? This is ridiculous." But fear kept me quiet, fear of his temper, fear of being alone. My friends drifted away, calls went unanswered because Jason monitored my phone. "Who was that?" he'd demand, scrolling through texts. I'd deleted Sarah's number eventually, the guilt gnawing at me like acid. Family? They were no help. Mom would say, "Marriage is work, sweetie. Stick it out. Divorce brings shame on the family." Dad nodded along, Bible in hand, "Till death do us part." I felt so alone, like a ghost in my own life. By 25, I was a shell. No job, no friends, no spark. I'd stare in the mirror, barely recognizing the woman looking back, dull eyes, slumped shoulders, hair pulled back in a hasty ponytail. Who was I beyond Jason's wife? The girl who dreamed of college, of traveling, of being something more. Buried deep, my days blurred. Wake up, make breakfast, eggs over easy, toast buttered just so, see him off with a forced smile, then hours of silence broken only by the tick of the clock. Evenings were tense rituals. Dinner on the table at 6 sharp, TV droning, his hand on my knee like ownership. Sex felt mechanical, obligatory. I'd lie there, mind wandering, body numb. "You love me, right?" he'd whisper afterward, needy. Of course, I'd lie, throat tight. The turning point? That night with the spaghetti. I'd slaved over it. Homemade sauce simmering for hours, garlic bread golden, salad crisp. But Jason took one bite, face twisting. "Too salty." "What the hell, Emily? Can't you do anything right?" His voice boomed, echoing off the walls. I flinched, murmuring, "I can fix it." But he exploded, grabbed the plate, hurled it against the wall. Crash. Ceramic shards flew like shrapnel, sauce splattering red like blood. I froze, breath caught, as he towered over me, veins bulging in his neck. "Clean it up," he barked, storming out. Alone on the floor, picking up pieces with shaking hands, tears blurring my vision, I felt something snap inside. This isn't love. This is prison. I have to get out. But leaving? Terrifying. No money. Jason controlled the bank account, doled out cash like allowances. No support, family would disown me. Where would I go? That night, as he snored beside me, I lay awake, mind racing. What if he finds me? What if I fail? But a tiny voice whispered, "You're stronger than this. Start small." Over weeks, I squirreled away money, skipping lunches, pocketing change from groceries, selling old jewelry online when he wasn't looking. $20 here, $50 there. It added up to $400 in a hidden envelope under the mattress. I researched secretly on the library computer, the one place he let me go alone, women's shelters, divorce laws, job listings. Heart pounding each time, glancing over my shoulder. At 26, the day came. Jason left for work, kissing my forehead like nothing was wrong. "See you tonight, babe." I waited 30 minutes, then packed. Clothes in a duffel, that envelope, a photo of my younger self smiling wide. Hands trembling, I wrote a note, "I'm done. Don't look for me." Left it on the table, walked out, door clicking shut like freedom. Bus to the city, then to the shelter, a nondescript building with kind-eyed volunteers. That first night on a cot, surrounded by snoring strangers, thin blankets scratching my skin, I cried silently. But as dawn broke, filtering through barred windows, I felt a weight lift. Free. Finally free. Rebuilding was brutal, like climbing a mountain with blistered feet. The shelter helped. Counseling sessions where I poured out years of pain, group talks with other women whose stories mirrored mine, bruises hidden, spirits broken. "You're not alone," they'd say, hands clasping mine. I got a waitressing job at a diner downtown, feet aching after shifts, but tips were mine. Lived paycheck to paycheck. Ramen noodles, thrift store clothes, bus rides in the rain. Jason called relentlessly at first, voicemails alternating rage and pleas. "Come home, Emily. I love you." Blocked him, but fear lingered. I'd jump at shadows, triple-check locks. Divorce papers were war. He contested everything, lawyer sneering in court. "She's unstable, Your Honor." But evidence mounted. Photos of bruises I'd secretly taken, witness statements from old neighbors who'd heard the yelling. My hands shook signing, but I did it. Took half the savings, not much, but enough for a deposit on a tiny apartment at 28. One bedroom, peeling wallpaper, but mine. I painted walls sunshine yellow, hung art from flea markets, bursts of color reclaiming my space. Enrolled in community college at 29, psychology classes, notebooks filled with furious scribbles. Why did I stay so long? I'd journal, tears smudging ink. Professors noticed my drive. One mentored me, saying, "You've got fire, Emily. Use it." Now, here's where the payback hits, sweet, slow burning, and oh so satisfying. At 30, I graduated top of my class, degree in hand, crowd cheering as I walked the stage. Landed a job at a nonprofit for domestic violence survivors, counseling women like I once was, helping them escape, rebuild. Word spread. I started speaking at events. TEDx-style talks, voice steady but passionate. I was 21 when I married my abuser. At 26, I left with nothing. Today, I'm proof you can rise. Videos went viral, millions of views, comments flooding. "You're my hero." This gave me strength to leave. Jason? He saw it all. One day, an email pinged, from him, subject, "Saw your talk." Hands icy, I opened it. "Emily, I'm sorry. I messed up. Lost my job, drinking too much. Can we talk? I need you." My pulse thundered, old fears surging, but then, triumph. "No, you don't get me back." I replied once. "Move on. I'm thriving without you." Blocked. But karma wasn't done. Turns out, his controlling ways caught up. Fired for harassing a female coworker, friends ditched him, family whispering about his issues. Last I heard, from a mutual acquaintance, he's alone in that old house, fence sagging, drinking regrets. While I, dating a kind man who respects me, traveling for work, even writing a book about my journey. The ultimate revenge. Not destroying him, but outshining him. Seeing his shock in that email, his plea, it was validation, pure and electric. I won. Looking back, justice isn't always loud or vengeful. Sometimes it's quiet, in the life you build from ruins. Karma circles back when you least expect. If there's a lesson, don't underestimate your strength. You deserve freedom, respect, love that lifts, not cages. What about you? Ever turned pain into power? Outro call to action. 25 to 95 seconds. Phew, that was heavy, but I hope it inspired you. If this story hit home or gave you that satisfying chill of justice served, smash that like button. Let's get it to 10,000. Drop in the comments. What's your most epic revenge tale, or have you escaped something similar? Share. You're not alone. And don't forget, subscribe, Turn on notifications for more real-life stories that empower and entertain. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Stay strong out there.